Welcome, my friend. If you're someone who's been on a weight loss journey and struggling, this video is for you. Today is day 2 of Fat Loss Made Simple, and we're going to cover the topic of another mistake that you're making when it comes to your fat loss. And this mistake I see way too often. It's way too common. So come on in the room. Let's get it started. As you come in the room, I'd love to know how you feel today. So if you're feeling fantastic, drop a 1. If you're feeling and you need some upliftment, drop a 3. And collectively, we'll send you some love, light, and energy to help raise your vibration. So a couple of days ago, I did a poll in my stories, and I asked you, what was your biggest problem? I asked you if it was high blood pressure, diabetes, or fat loss. And you told me fat loss. Child, mother, sending you love and light, sending you love and light. Okay, I ain't see no one yet, so everybody else doing good. Sending you some love and light, Diane. So, in that poll, you said that fat loss was your biggest struggle. So, over the next 5 days, we're going to be talking about fat loss made simple. Yesterday, we discussed how you're over-relying on calorie density, or you weren't paying attention to your calories. And that's why I put these headphones on so y'all can hear me, because I want to be outside. And this wind is relentless. So today we're going to talk about another mistake that you're making. And this mistake everybody has made at least once in their journey of fat loss. And that is relying on cardio alone. Alright, Scott C. Heart health fluid is coming up next. So a lot of people that I talk to, they think that walking is sufficient for fat loss. Walking is the bare minimum. Now, if you're someone who's not active at all, walking is a good start. But there are several reasons why cardio is not the answer if fat loss and sustained fat loss is something that you're going to go after. And so that's what we're going to cover in today's live, are the reasons why cardio is not optimal for fat loss. And then at the end, if you can stick around, not if you can stick around, you better stick around, because at the end, I'm going to give you 3 ways to actually improve your fat loss. And then I'm going to make you an offering to something that's going to be started here in a few weeks. We're going to be starting the challenge for those who want some help, because information isn't enough. They want some guidance through it. So we'll get into that. But let's talk about this. A lot of struggle that people are having is that they're doing a lot of cardio, but they're not getting any return on their investment of time and energy. And so they get frustrated. They say that working out doesn't work. They feel like they're stuck, and that they're stuck at that weight, and now they just have to resign themselves to that. And that's not true. Cardio is helpful. I'm not going to tell you don't do any cardio, but let's break down what cardio is short for. Cardio is short for cardiovascular. Cardio is meant to work your lungs, your heart, not necessarily your muscles. And that's a real big distinction. And why is that distinction need to be made? Because although you're going to burn some calories doing cardio, you burn more calories long term when you focus on the alternative, which is strength training. So let's talk about the reasons why first, before I get to go on too long. So one of the main reasons that doing too much cardio is a problem is that it's going to lead to muscle loss. I was talking to one of my earliest clients, and they told me that they had been walking, and then they went from walking to running. And then they were running 3 miles, and then they were running 5 miles, and then they were running 7 miles, and they still couldn't get the weight off, no matter how much more running they did. But although the weight didn't come off, they lost some weight initially. But then they found that they weren't losing weight, that they just started to get soft and doughy and plushy, as I like to call it. Who on here has experienced that? They started working out, but they were only doing cardio. They were walking, they were running, doing a lot of that HIIT training without really much resistance. And they saw themselves lose weight initially. but then they saw the plateau, and then they didn't lose any more weight. They just got soft. Anybody in here experience that too? Okay. See? So I'm not talking crazy, and this is real life experiences. Well, the reason why that happened is that excess cardio actually starts to break down your muscle. That's right. You got to do some weight training. And actually, I would say not some. You need to focus more on that. But we got to get to the solution at the end. Don't put it up there too far. Sucker free. Sadiqa. One of these days, I'm gonna say that right. Don't beat me up for saying it wrong today. So, muscle loss. Now, yesterday we talked about calories. Now, if you're focusing on being in a calorie deficit and you're doing tons of cardio, which does use calories, it breaks down your muscle because now you don't have enough energy. Hey, I said it right. Hey, let's go. All right. Focus, Robert. Focus. See, that's my ADHD coming in. So, because you're calorie deficient, now you don't have the energy to rebuild the muscle breakdown that you're doing. So now you get soft. So the other reason why doing a lot of cardio and losing muscle is a problem for somebody who's focused on fat loss is when you lose muscle, your metabolism actually slows down. So it makes it even harder to lose weight. Why is that? Energetically, fat only uses so much energy. However, muscle uses 3 times as much. No, actually, no, let me say that because I don't know that number exactly. Let's just know that muscle uses more energy than fat. I was about to put a times on it. Now I got to do the research so I can tell y'all specifically because I was about to make up a number, and we don't do that around here. So doing too much cardio is actually having the reverse effect of what you're trying to do with weight loss. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 with doing cardio in excess, meaning it's your main focus, is that it has diminishing returns. Why is that? As you, how did I explain this? The body naturally is looking for ways to conserve energy. So the more you do a thing, the more your body gets used to it. It's called adaptability. And as your body adapts to the stimulus, it uses less and less energy. So by doing what they call steady state cardio or walking the same 3 miles at the same pace, your body adapts to it. So now every time you do it, you use less energy when you do it. So for someone who's looking to burn fat, that's the opposite of what they're trying to do because they're trying to burn and use as much energy as possible while being in a calorie deficit so that their body can start to break down the fat so that it can convert it to the process, go through the process of converting it to energy or metabolizing fat. So, boom. So adaptation. Your body adapts quickly too. So that means less cardio over time, and if you want to get the same effect, you have to do more and more and more, which means you have to go on longer runs, longer walks, which means it's going to take up more time. And the last time I checked, you already told me that you didn't have time to work out as it is. So if you try to stick with cardio, it's only going to eat into more of the time and discourage you from continuing on. So let's move on. Number 3, long cardio sessions increase your appetite and cravings, especially for carbs, because when you are doing cardio, your body first burns the glycogen, which is the sugar or the glucose that is stored in your muscles. That's what it burns first. So once all of that is gone, as soon as you feel like your workout is finished, your body wants to replenish that because that's your body's reserve energy. So this is how after a big workout, you can sometimes eat a big meal and overeat, and now you just canceled out all the work. So these long, strenuous cardio sessions are hurting you in 3 ways so far. 4th, Cardio only burns some fat. It doesn't target the deep visceral fat, the belly fat, or that minnow belly for my ladies that are dealing with menopause. Cardio ain't gonna fix that. It's not. Period, point blank. Cardio can burn a little bit of the topical fat, but the visceral fat, the adipose, that stuff that's down here, deep down near the organs and around the belly, that's not going anywhere with just cardio. That's going to take strength training, diet, and balancing your hormones, with strength training will do, and we'll get to that in a minute. So, is everybody with me so far? Any questions so far over everything we've gone over? Because I know I'm going a little fast. Hopefully I'm going deep enough so that it hits home and it's making sense for you. Come on, talk back to me. This is interactive. Talk back to me. Let me know you're not just watching. Perfect. Thanks, Scott. All right, so everyone always tells me, this is the first thing I ask about people when they say, what are your health goals? The first thing out of their mouth is they say that they want to look toned. Can anybody tell me what tone means? I know what they're trying to tell me, but they want to look toned, which really means that they want their muscles to pop. They want to be able to see definition in their muscles. Great question. I'm going to pin that because that's a beautiful question. How do you do strength training without a gym membership? I'm going to answer that question, so stick around. If not, you can't come back, and the question will be answered before the live is over with, but I want to stay on task with the problems with cardio first, and then we'll get into the solutions, all right? So the reason why I'm going down this question about looking toned and wanting to have muscle definition, cardio doesn't build muscle. So therefore, cardio cannot make you look toned. Cardio cannot make you look defined. Cardio's job is to work your cardiovascular system, your heart, your lungs, so the way that your blood pumps through your body, and the way that your body uses oxygen. That's cardio's job. That's it. If you're looking to lose weight, get stronger, tone up, big, look muscular, get rid of a big back, build a big butt, all of that comes from strength training. All of it. If you want to protect your bones as you get older, strength training. Yes, walking is the start for someone who has not been moving at all. That is the starting point. However, if you can walk, you can do squats. You can do wall push-ups. That's strength training. So that kind of answers your question. And you 11, 12. It's body weight workouts. It's very simple. Get you some resistance bands. But don't let me get too far ahead of myself. I got a couple more untie my tongue and try that again. I got a couple more topics to cover first. All right, so talked about time consuming. Now, here is an important part that is overlooked a lot for people who are looking to lose weight and using cardio as a method. Cardio creates a hormone in the body called cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. You're already under stress from work, family, life. So all of this additional stress hormone from cardio is not getting used. And guess what the body does with the stress hormone cortisol? Anybody know? It stores it as fat. More specifically, it stores it as visceral fat in the belly area. So not only does cardio not get rid of the visceral fat, cardio can add to your visceral fat. Is the key to toning your abs consistent ab works out? No. The key to toning your abs is diet and hormone control. Strength training is a key component, but diet and hormones are going to play the hugest role. Hence what we were just talking about right now, stress and cortisol. Cortisol is stored as belly fat. So you can have the best diet in the world, do all the sit-ups, crunches, and leg lifts in the world, but if you're stressed out and you're not managing and balancing that, you're probably still going to have a gut. And yes, Scott, sugar is a key component to that as well. So excess cortisol, we just went over that, went a little bit deeper. Now, cardio helps a little bit, but cardio only does not help you improve. Yeah, calisthenics is resistance training, is strength training, yes. Because now you're resisting gravity using your own body weight. And you can always make, that's one of the things, y'all gonna get me ahead of myself, but I love body weight for a lot of different reasons. I've started strength training with weights again because of the goals that I have, but we're gonna dive deeper into that. But let me finish these last 2 points. Let me finish these last 2 points real quick, and then we can get into that part. So, insulin sensitivity. Most people who are overweight are dealing with insulin sensitivity, which is part of the reason why they're gaining the weight. Cardio can help a little bit, but because it doesn't burn energy at the same rate that strength training does, it doesn't improve your insulin sensitivity at the same pace or rate it does. So it's less effective on improving your insulin sensitivity, which the better you're able to get your insulin sensitivity, the better your body is able to use the glucose in the bloodstream and then hence burn fat as well. Now, the last thing that we'll cover is the fact that with doing a lot of cardio, it's really easy to hit a plateau because there's not much variation. And as we discussed before, with adaptation, your body's like, we got this. So what can you actually do to overcome the mistake of doing too much cardio and actually supercharge your fat loss journey, hence improving your metabolic health, hence reducing your risk for type 2 diabetes or getting rid of it completely, reducing your blood pressure or getting rid of it, high blood pressure altogether, reducing your risk for cardiovascular disease, heart disease, things of that sort, which are very prominent in our community and taking people out. And which is why I do all of this to begin with. So I talk about fat loss as a way to get you back to overall health. So what is the better alternative? Strength training, and more strength training. What is the difference between strength training and cardio? Cardiovascular is really just meant to get you moving, get your heart rate up, get you breathing deeply, get you breathing hard. Strength training is your ability to move against resistance. So that resistance can be your own body weight and gravity. That resistance can be with resistance bands. It can be with a TRX or suspension trainer, or it can be with free weights. It can be at the gym with the cable machines and all of those variations. Kettlebells, maces, steel clubs, medicine balls, dead balls, all of those add resistance. You want to be doing resistance training a minimum, absolute minimum of 3 days a week. If you're looking to really excel, I would go for 4 days a week with 1 day of cardio. Strength training gives you multiple benefits. Strength training is going to increase your bone density for those who are getting older. So it means it reduces your risk of osteoporosis. Strength training is going to burn more calories during the session and long term after the session because you're building more muscle. And as your body's building muscle, it's using more energy. And then that muscle burns more energy overall. So that leads to strength training improves your metabolism. When you have a better metabolism, now your body is more efficient with converting the food that you eat into energy. And that means it's less of it is getting stored as fat. The next thing on the list, strength training improves your insulin sensitivity. So if you have insulin resistance, that means your body is storing more fat than it needs to. So if you become insulin sensitive, that's another metabolic process that gets improved. So now your body is able to be better at converting the food into energy so it stores less of it as fat. When you do strength training, you actually build muscle so that you can get that toned, sculpted definition look that you want. most people have abs. If you didn't have abs, you probably wouldn't be able to sit up. But the problem is there's so much fat around it that you can't see. So we have to reduce the fat while at the same time building the muscle so that it can pull through. So that's why strength training is better than cardio for people who are looking to lose fat. Now, my man asked me, how do you do strength training without a gym membership? The same way that I did for years before I joined back in the gym. I want you to go out and invest in 3 things for your house. A set of resistance bands, a standalone pull-up bar, or one that you can put in the door, and a suspension trainer. You can get the TRX, but since it's been on the market for so long, they have knockoffs all over the market. I can tell you, you can buy everything that I just mentioned for $150 or less. Now, there are some other things that you can build at home or you can go buy if you really want to take it to the next level. But those are 3 outside tools. If investing money in your health is not an option right now, you were given resistance already. There's gravity and you have weight. Everybody has weight of some sort. It may be more than others, and some may have more that they can use. So start with your own body weight. And here's something that I really need. I need everybody listening to me to understand. Before you start picking up weights and moving them around, please protect your body and be able to move your own body weight through ranges of motion. So it doesn't make sense to do squats with 200 pounds on your back in your hands if you can't squat your own body weight and not control your knees from buckling and wobbling all over the place. That's not going to do you any good. You're only going to injure and hurt yourself. So start off with regressions, with body weight. And if doing it your own body weight is too much, do a regression. Grab and hold on to something to reduce it. Use a pole, use a wall. That's the beauty. To get back to what I was going to say earlier, that's why I love body weight training so much, is you can do a regression or a progression. Regression means make it easier. Progression means make it harder. In order to gain muscle, you have to do this thing called progressive overload. Progression, make things progressively harder. Now with regression, you can regress as far back as you need to give you an idea of what a regression is. Normal push-ups are the progression. Doing push-ups on your knees is a regression because you've just lessened some of your weight. Now, you can regress even more. You can do push-ups against the wall where now you have even less of your weight. Or you could do a regression by putting bands on a bar if you have it, and then laying on the bar and on the bands and doing push-ups, so that the band is helping lift up some of that weight for you. So body weight is so versatile. I think that's the best word to describe it. So to recap. Doing cardio is good for overall health, and I will never tell you not to do it. However, if you're looking specifically for fat loss, doing too much cardio is hurting you. It is a mistake that you're making. Switch your cardio, and we can go over the list of reasons real quick. The reason why it's going to cause muscle loss. You're going to have quick adaptation, which means you're going to have less returns on the energy that you put out. It's going to increase your hunger, so you end up canceling out the calories that you burn because you end up overeating. It has minimal impact on visceral fat, the fat that you're actually trying to lose to show your muscles. It doesn't build muscle. It doesn't increase your insulin sensitivity, but it does increase your cortisol levels, and it becomes time consuming. So that's all the reasons why not to. The alternative is to do 3 to 4 days a week of strength training, focusing on lifting as heavy as you possibly can while maintaining good form, and focusing on progressive overload, meaning you're either doing more reps or you're doing more weight every 2 to 3 weeks. This is going to focus on building the maximum amount of muscle, which is going to give you the benefits of more toned and defined look, better metabolism, improved insulin sensitivity, and lower cortisol levels. So, headphones just went dead, so that means time for the live to end. But before we do, I'll open the floor to questions if anybody has them. If y'all don't, that's cool too. I don't know why these dead died so early. So, we got one question out of the way. Boom, bam. Who else has a question? Now, if anything that I've said today makes sense to you, on May 26th, I'm going to be starting a 5-day metabolic health reset. During that reset, we're going to show you 4 moves to help you lower your numbers, lower your blood pressure, lower your A1C or your resting blood glucose levels, as well as drop the weight. If you want information on that, send me a DM right now and I'll give you the information. All right, so if you already carry extra weight, do I have to lose it first before strength training or do at the same time? So, beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. Start focusing on strength training right now. Because by focusing on strength training, you're going to supercharge your fat loss because you're focusing on muscle building. And the fat loss is a part of it. You don't need to focus on cardio. Okay? You can focus on strength training from right now. And because you have extra weight, you may only need your body weight to get going. If you want some help and some specifics, comment the word me and I'll send you a link to book a free strategy call where we'll go through and create a plan specifically for you. All right? Now, what about doing cardio with ankle weights and small dumbbells? So that adds a little bit of resistance to your cardio. However, you still run into the same adaptation because you can only have so much weight in your hand with small dumbbells or with ankle weights. So your body will adapt to it. Now in the beginning, you're going to feel it. But after a few weeks, you're going to feel like you never had them on. But again, that is very helpful. I use those type of things for people who are one short on time and need to add extra, or I use them for myself more for speed. How much time should you do strength training per session? Great question. I focus on 30 to 45 minute sessions. 45 minutes is ample time, and that's including your warm-up. Great questions. I appreciate those questions today. So again, if you are someone who's struggling with losing their weight, someone who's struggling to control their blood pressure, pre-diabetic or full-blown type 2 diabetes, the Metabolic 5-Day Metabolic Health Reset is starting May 26th. It's $99. It's 5 days of live coaching. You're going to get a bunch of extras and tools. All of that stuff is being created now. But we're going to get started on May 26th. So if that's something that you're interested in, comment the word. No, don't comment anything because I don't have any automation set up for it. So never mind. Send me a DM. Does all of this apply to over 55? It even especially applies to over 55. I need you right now to go pick up some weights. Because at 55, you're going to start to, or even before 55, you're going to start to see muscle loss as well as bone density loss. So, how much weight do you use if you're a beginner? That's a hard question to answer because everybody has a varying level of strength. And my answer to that would be use as much weight as you can do while still maintaining good and proper form. But again, it's not about going and getting as heavy as you can get because strength training isn't about lifting heavy. Strength training is about resistance. And so if 5-pound weights is all you can lift right now, 5-pound weights is ample until 5-pound weights gets light. And now it's time to move up to 7 pounds. So I'll use myself as an example. As strong as I am with certain movements, I still use 8 and 9 pound weights because anything heavier than that and my form collapses. And if my form collapses, now I'm not actually working the muscle that I'm targeting. And why am I going to do something if I'm not weight? You know what I'm saying? Then I call in other muscles that I'm not really trying to work. So I hope that answered you. That was a long answer to a really simple question, but I hope it gave you context. All right, we've been going for almost 30 minutes now. Any other questions? Because I'm working at keeping these lives pretty short so that they're digestible. Hey, what about calisthenics? Calisthenics is the best form of strength training because it's so versatile. You can add additional resistance to strength training. So for instance, with pull-ups, you can put a ball in between your knees, or you can put on a weight belt and add more weight. So yes, absolutely. With squats. So most people don't realize a squat, no matter how much weight you put on it, it's still a calisthenic it's still a move. It's just whether you're doing body weight or not. What's the best way to get started if you're severely overweight? That is a beautiful question, and I appreciate you for asking. The best way is to get started. If you need help with that, send me a DM and let's book you a free strategy call so we can put a game plan specifically for you to get started. And if you want coaching to implement it, we can talk about that too. But yes, I want you to send me a message, gorgeous. Naja, make sure you send me a message. Don't let that go past, all right? This is a free opportunity for you to get the help. Put a thumbs up if you got it. Because a lot of people ask for help, but they don't really be wanting. So if you're serious about the help, I'm here to help. Any other questions? I'm 41 years old, went vegan, lost 420 pounds, and King, let's go. Love to hear you. 20 pounds down, let's go. The benefits of a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. Share them wins around here. That's why I love the community that I've built. That I didn't build, that we've built, because the community ain't nothing without y'all. So that's why I love the community that we've built. We got people taking action and getting results, whether it's with my help or on their own. I think also doing the 21-day cleanse help as well. So cleansing is good. It's helpful. However, cleansing doesn't address the total problem that most people have to go after, which are the habit changes that have to be made. So yeah, so cleansing can be a part of it. I started at 315. I'm down to 274. Way to go. Let's go, Jeanette. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love hearing these wins. I hope. Oh, yep. And so, King, now you don't have to say you went cold turkey. You went cold veggie. Since you on the vegan train, you know what I'm saying? We don't do nothing with meat around here. We don't even use it in our aphorisms. You know what I mean? You went cold veggie. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Y'all, hey, some of y'all are sitting on the sidelines and watching life go by. However, some of y'all are taking the ball and running with it. I love it. If you're someone who's sitting on the sideline but want to get in the game, I'm here to help. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. I ain't going to be down your throat saying, hey. You raise your hand and you got the help coming. Because with this lifestyle, you have to be ready for it. Because I can give you all the tools in the world, but if you don't actually use them, they just going to sit on the shelf and collect dust. So, I appreciate y'all time. As you see, we've already lost audio, so it's gone down a little bit. But to those that have made some progress, peace, congratulations. For those who want help, send me a DM now, and let's start that conversation so that we can get you the help that you deserve. Till next time, peace. All your friends looking at you now like, how? Yep, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. See y'all tomorrow at 2:30 or 3. It'll be around that same time. We're going to be going live, finishing up day 3. Till tomorrow, y'all. Peace.